I'm Dale.
And I'm Kane the Schwab Watson.
Yes, today's show, we'll be speaking with five-time Olympian Alia Atkinson, also four-time world champion gold medalist in the 100 and the 50-meter breaststroke. She's the GOAT of swimming in Jamaica.
Definitely. One of the premier athletes in Jamaica, not only in swimming, but throughout all sports. And for me, one of my personal favorite Jamaican athletes I've come across. Great personality. So later on she'll tell us more about her career and all about Alia Atkinson.
Yes.
I'm sure you're excited to hear.
Yes. Well, at the midway point, as usual, we'll have sports commentary with the controversial boss, Peter Moo Young.
Yeah, people always look forward to hear what the controversial boss has to say.
Yes, no doubt. And in the final segment, we'll have our open mic discussion where feel free to call in. You know, the number to call in is 552-7406. That's 876-552-7406, and that's via WhatsApp only. Feel free to call in and discuss any sporting topics, you know.
And remember, we're on Facebook Live and YouTube Live, so feel free to use any channel to listen to our sports show here today. Very exciting show ahead of us.
Yes, man, and boy, it was an exciting week of sports.
Yeah.
And it continued today as well, you know.
We have a lot of sports going on, a lot of things to talk about.
Yeah, we can start off to kick off today with a little of schoolboy football.
Yeah, we see where schoolboy football is coming to a close. Today is the final match. It's currently at halftime with the Oliver Shield. The All-Ireland champions will be crowned. Let's say in probably about next hour, we'll know who the All-Boy School champions is. We've seen D-Cup champions, Gavi Masia, squaring off against
North Street Purple and White.
Kingston College.
Yeah.
Kingston College currently leads 1-0 at halftime. I'm going for the elusive Oliver Shield.
Boy, a goal by Watson.
Yeah, good.
Your last name, man.
Come here, Watson, you know it got already.
A nice little goal by Watson there of KC.
So, rounding up schoolboy football for the year, it's good to see, as I said, the schoolboys out there playing again. It was an exciting season so far. Some teams showed quite some quality, especially later on in the season. Seeing that they break from playing for a while, but we see our two exciting finals from last week. KC beating JC on penalties was an evenly contested match, but I can't wait for my biasness, and I'm glad that Kingston College came out victors. So, and on the rural side, Gavi Masia thrash
Manning's
5-love last week. So now both are squaring off and KC's up 1-love, but we see where some extreme talent out there. I want some to watch for the future.
Mr. Pearson there in the midfield, that big boy from
Kingston
KC.
College, number 8. Zimini's from Jamaica College, also a top talent. So
and Mackenzie as well.
So look, going forward, the Reggae Boys need help. So once you're on the topic of football,
oh my word, boy.
Reggae Boys this week, that was a hot topic, and I'm sure the contrary boss has something to say about that later on in the show, and the callers as well. But the Reggae Boys, we lost 2-1 to Mexico.
Two late goals. After
That
substitution.
seems to be
bringing on the old
lead.
foot, Alvis Powell.
I don't think he's that old, but
Washed up, I should say.
I don't like using that term, but his better years are behind him.
Yes,
I would say.
Yes.
But due to injury,
the wing back from former KC captain as well,
had to come off due to injury, and Alvis Powell,
Javon Brown. Thought he played well. Was holding his own and that wing right there.
Yeah, and then
for the future.
Tired legs all around on the field, but the fresh legs wasn't ready at the point in time. But we see where throughout the campaign, a lot of late goals. Even in Mexico, where we should have at least came up with a point.
Yeah.
Then again,
same result.
Same result here again.
Well, not same result, but we end up with a draw in Mexico. When we should have probably
won. It was a tough loss. Questionable refereeing. I hear from the players, Damian Lowe himself saying, the referee, why we always get Spanish referees when playing Spanish countries. Dubious decisions, and the players were complaining. Not only Damian Lowe, I saw Speedy Williams also complain after the match, but hopefully they hold their heads up high because we play Panama tomorrow, even though the campaign seems to be...
It's over. It's
Wow,
over.
you guys say it was over from about 3 matches ago, but it looks that way. But we still
No.
need credible performances, and the
Yeah.
guys going out there are still
Yeah,
trying to.
I think the new coach Paul Hall will definitely have to him have to put up a good showing without a doubt. You know,
I mean, I don't think you can do much better than
and where we are now,
where
right?
we are now, because we see where we're right there to get the results and not getting the results. So you can imagine to play attractive football and now get 6-love versus playing to win and get results.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I tell you the truth, still, and I don't think it was attractive, you know.
no, I mean we don't really play attractive
No,
football.
that last match was
But we tried. We play.
it was just as bad as Theodore Whitmore at the head.
I think
It
that we
was
play.
similar.
I think that we play to get results. It's just that we're not getting them. We're right there in every match. We only played one horrible match short.
You know,
This
Mexico had about
round.
80% of the possession of the ball.
Having possession
Can you
and
imagine we're down 2-1 and we can't even get the ball back?
we're down 10 minutes.
Oh, 10 men.
We're
Okay,
down
so
10
that's the
minutes.
excuse. Well, we
I wouldn't
scored.
say excuse.
We scored when we were done by
Yeah,
10.
we have to play
Yeah.
containing football,
Okay,
and
okay. All right.
we
no
are playing
problem.
against a quality team. We have to.
Alright.
You have to know who you're
But we're
playing
going to
against.
discuss that a little bit
We have
later
to
because
discuss
we know we have differences when
Yeah,
it
but
comes
the
to
earlier
that
boys,
point.
to me, it was a commendable performance.
Yeah.
Although we lost, we were right there. I mean, winning 1-love again would have been a different story, but we'll talk more about this later on in the show.
And also we have to touch on the tennis. I
Have to
see
touch
our
on-
friend Keith Garvey predictions. Well, he has predicted the female finals already, which is Ashley Barty. She won her second title there at the Australian.
Yeah.
And then we see Medvedev, the informed player.
But I'm going with Nadal. I'm
Going
going
against
Nadal.
the so-called the future GOAT of tennis. Yeah, so we have a lot to talk about. We also have the NFL, the conference finals
To talk about. We do our predictions from last
this
week.
weekend. Tom Brady, breaking news.
Breaking news: Tom Brady might be retiring.
Might
I
be
don't
retiring.
believe that news, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
What to
That
hear.
man will play to 50, but
Yes.
we'll see later on in the show.
But now we have to introduce our guest. She's an 5-time Olympian, 4-time world champion. You know, and she
World
has.
record holder.
Boy, the list goes on and on. I was
accolades.
looking at the titles, boy, Caribbean and CAC Games, Panams. It's a whole host of titles
A
there.
spreadsheet this long.
Oh my.
Career is just.
Definitely the GOAT of swimming, right? In Jamaica
Yeah,
here.
I mean.
And maybe she probably be a top 5 as well. So let us introduce the Primal Sports, Alia Atkinson. Welcome.
Hi guys.
Hi, how are you doing today, Alia?
I'm good. How you doing, Ken?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm here doing my thing. As you can see, Primal Sports. Yeah, you know, taking it from a different angle. Yeah.
You see,
Heard that recently you announced retirement. How's retirement treating you?
not too bad actually. I thought I would have missed the water by now, but I haven't felt that yet. It's
You
been
don't
probably a
feel it
month.
as yet.
I don't feel it yet. No.
Oh, I
But
mean,
yeah, it's been fun.
been fun. I mean, so where do we start? You're taking us through your career from before we touch on retirement, from the beginning. Where did swimming all start for you?
It started at Queen's Pool actually with Coach Matthew.
Okay.
It was a learn to swim program up there.
So you
And then
started
from
in high school or prep school? Queen's prep?
No,
Or Queen's prep?
started around 4 up at Queen's
Okay,
Pool.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
about 4, wow.
Yeah.
Lucky you had that.
Fun?
So luckily you had that. I need some swimming lessons because I'm not so good around the water.
So why you choose swimming? Why swimming?
I don't know. I want to say swimming chose me. Because my parents made sure that everybody knew how to swim. So they made sure their children learned how to swim. So when we were growing up, we tried different sports. We tried tennis, we tried track and field, but swimming was always a staple. And as I got older, swimming just needed more time. And that's the sport that I decided to put more time in.
Wait. So when did you realize that you're going to be this great swimmer? At what age did you start to take it serious? Or you were just going about? Because I saw your documentary, and I didn't know you were that competitive.
Oh, that's what I was going to say because everybody's seeing this side and the Joel side. I've seen you before competition and you're zoned it versus when there's no competition and you're bubbly and jovial. So that competitive side, as Dale said. When did you realize that swimming.
So I
That's
was,
it.
I was always competitive. I was always stubborn. I always wanted to beat the boys and be the best and do all of that. But when I actually believed that I could be something, that I could actually do something in the sport of swimming, I was probably 24, 25.
24.
A little bit older than you thought.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so what were you doing in between that time? You were just messing around?
No, no. So I was always focused. I was always having fun.
Okay.
But for me, it was more of what I could do in the sport for myself. It was being the best that I could in high school, being the best that I could in the characters and the CC cans and all of that. But we didn't really have junior nationals back then. We didn't have all the events that the 18 and unders have now. So I would have to swim with the bigger kids. So I was swimming against Olympic record holders and all this stuff. So I was basically not coming out to the prelims.
Yeah.
So to me, it was just being the best that I could be. But when I reached around 24, 25, I was like, oh, all right, all the people that I thought were this great thing, I'm now one of them type of deal. I was like, oh, okay, and my mindset started to
Oh, you started to beat them and then you realized that you belong within that same category.
Yeah. That's basically a couple of years ago, because I remember when I first met you in 2010 Commonwealth Games in India, and then after that it was here, but then it went there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was
So
always competitive. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people know about the ups and see the titles and all of that, but tell us about that switch from, where you're wavering until you became all these records, all these titles. So people see the glitz and the glam and successes, but take us through that period where you persevered, because obviously you persevered. You stuck with it, and that breakthrough moment. Tell us all of that period, what took place in your mind or your regime, or what became different.
I had many ups and downs. I think it was more each decade. So when I was around 16, 17, I think I had another falling out where I was like, what am I doing in the sport? Where do I want to see myself in the sport? That type of deal. I was a teenager, so I saw a lot of my friends going out and having parties and getting boyfriends and just living it up. And here I am looking at the pool and looking at the black line, and it's just me, myself, and I. So that was another readjustment. What do I want to do in the sport? What are my goals and how can I achieve them? And what is the best route to take to achieve them? So that was a big switch. The next one probably came after 2012 Olympics because I wanted to retire if I didn't make a medal. If I didn't get a medal, I was going to retire. Because before that, I never ever come out of prelims. I never ever make a semifinals. So to get a medal is unrealistic. But I ended up coming fourth. So I was like, oh,
I remember watching that.
Okay, that's a bit too close.
Yeah.
So I think that was another mental switch. Giving it my all and saying, all right, this is the end of my swimming career. Let me just give it my all. So, okay, this is the end of the old Alia. What does the new Alia have in store? So it's having that mental switch and changing my mentality to say, okay, have I arrived? Let me put some more efforts and training and readjust my mental state and give it another go.
So after 2012 Olympics, when you're on the cusp of retirement, that's where you refocus, and I guess the new Alia came about, and then this 8-year period now, from 2012 to which year are we now?
2018.
Oh, 2022.
2022, yeah. But
so
she did all the damage.
that 2 more Olympic cycles, a lot of world championships.
Yeah.
That's where it just took off.
Yeah.
Next level.
It went by fast. It really did.
Yeah.
And you broke the record twice within that period, right?
I broke it 4 times.
4 times.
Yeah.
4 times, yeah. I broke it twice in 2016, once in 2014, and then the other time in 2018.
Tell us the events, like 100? Or that was
Yeah, so 2014 was 100. 2016 was 100 again, and then the 50 was the first time I got the 50. And then 2018, I broke the 50 again.
That's breaststroke, right?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we know, but for the listeners,
yes,
for the listeners, that's your pet event, the breaststroke, 100 meter and 50 meter.
So take us, what's the life of a professional swimmer? How the training regime? What is it like?
No ice cream.
The training hours, the whole thing. Like, what is it?
It's very similar to other sports that I've heard. For the most part, when you're in peak training, is probably about 9 to 10 times a week. And then you include gym work in addition to that. And then depending on who you are, whether more aerobic stuff or more rehab stuff, you just have to tailor it to what you need.
So you're a sprinter, right? You're like a sprint.
Yes. When I was growing up, it was more mid-distance and 200 and up. And then as I got older, it kind of fine-tuned to the 50 and 100.
But this was always breaststroke.
No, when I was growing up, I was a backstroker, freestyle, and flyer. Breaststroke wasn't a part of anything until I hit probably 13, and suddenly I just understood how to do breaststroke.
And then that's your pet stroke.
Yeah.
Became
After
your
that,
pet stroke.
breaststroke just skyrocketed, and that was the end of that.
You know, I don't want to sound too nice. I didn't know swimmers went go to the gym in terms of lifting weights.
Of course. I knew this, but yeah. People don't know. Table tennis people go to the gym.
You know,
I don't know what he's talking about.
Swimming is more of a relaxed kind of thing. You feel the water, move the water.
No.
So a lot of people.
So what would you do in the gym? Like, what would you do in the gym as a 50-meter breaststroke swimmer?
Well, because of swimming and its repetitive nature, a lot of us have loose shoulders. The knees are a big issue, just from pushing off the wall and having bad techniques. So we work a lot of strength, but also rehabilitation. So working the inner muscles as well, because sometimes we build the outer muscles and we forget the inner joints that connect to the shoulder blades and all of that. And then it becomes loose. And that's how we get shoulder injuries when we get older. So we try and work the inner and the outside muscles, more fast twitch muscles, the ropes, anything for tempo, because we have to keep a certain tempo in the pool and things like that. Just sticking to your pace.
I have one more thing. How many hours in the pool? Like, how many hours you spend in the pool?
Usually it's about 2 hours. So it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Wednesday, Friday is 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours at night. And then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday is 2 hours in the afternoon.
Swimming is a lonely thing, boy. You're out there swimming and your mind thinking of 10 different things while you're doing the stroke.
I don't have first-hand experience of that. He can swim, but I don't have first-hand experience of that. But it looks, I know it's tiring just to be out there. So I can imagine going at that pace, at that level. I mean, 2 hours is a lot.
To do a 50-meter, boy, probably mash up for a week.
Which one do you prefer, the 50 or the 100?
In my 20s, the 100. In my 30s, the 50.
I understand what you're talking about. The shorter, both get shorter after a while.
Yes. If there was a 25, I would have been continuing. But
yeah. Oh, okay. So tell us, what's your most memorable moment in your whole career from swimming? That one moment that when it sticks out in your mind, it could be anything. In the pool, out the pool. Coming fourth, I mean, winning that, breaking that world record, winning the gold medal, a CSE medal, I mean.
There's a lot.
Oh, well. Tell us the top three then.
Top three would have to be the getting the first world record and the world first, because that really just skyrocketed me to all the other things that came after. That was, I could pinpoint my career and put a pin right on that. After that, it would be the people that I've met along the way. Like, I was very introverted growing up. And just as I got older and the experiences that I had, the people that I met from all the different countries, like Hungary and Hong Kong and Japan, Australia, it's like I would never have even imagined that when I couldn't even talk to somebody next to me. So that's a huge one, just the development of myself and how many friends I have all over the world. And I think getting to experience that with my coach and my mother, because in 2016, she was able to travel with me to the World Cups. So sharing that, and she was there for 2 of my world records. And then just going to the different countries. And usually I stay by myself. But when she was there, I was like, no, Alia, you're not just here to swim. You're here to experience life, to make memories. So we went out to safari deserts, we went to big Singaporean gardens, and I made an effort to implant good memories into the swimming as well, which I think is important. Because sometimes we just remember the pool or the venue, and we have no idea what the country looked like.
Yeah, the social part of it is important.
important.
You know, is good for development. You know, we have a couple of youngsters who don't never used to talk in class and started playing our sport, and all of a sudden he's the loudest voice in the
We chat
room.
about gun.
Yeah,
Because
confidence and
socializing with people,
yeah,
meeting people.
sports is not just about the sports part; it's also about the social development of, you know, the
And meeting
person.
people from all over.
All over.
Yes, but
So, what is a professional life as a swimmer? Is there a professional setup in swimming,
Like you have Grand Prix.
like you have track and field and you have the Grand
Yeah.
Prix and does that
Yeah.
exist in swimming?
Yes. So each country has a variation of it. The US has a variation of Grand Prix, I think of 3 or 4 a year. But the financial aspect of it is basically to cover your flight and your hotel.
Oh my!
That's about it.
Oh
So
my!
you're basically going there to swim, not to get money.
no.
In addition to that, FINA, the swimming body, has created World Cups, which have been around for a while. So that's really where I got my bread and butter. So that's 8 different countries or 9 different countries, depending on the year, in 3 months. So you travel to all over the different places, and there you can make some money if you go to all 9. That's the trick.
Okay.
So you have to go.
Also, it's heavily dependent on endorsements and commercials and swimming is that's what the athletes in swimming depend on.
You would think so. However,
No, I'm asking. I don't know.
no,
because
swimming is it's still defined as an amateur sport.
Yes.
So
Okay.
on our clothing, on our suits, on our caps, we can't have any endorsements. So few
Wow.
people would actually get endorsements. Maybe like Michael Phelps, the big names that you would.
Yeah.
So everybody else, you basically have
So what do you mean by big? Aren't you big as well? Whoa.
Michael Phelps, Alia Atkinson.
Yeah, I know. We know
Not to us, really,
we know the
but-
marketing thing
Yeah,
with Phelps and all of that. Yeah. I'm
That's
just-
only because he's American. That's only because he's American, not because it's more like yeah. But
So that must have been that's definitely a tough sport then, man. Especially for Jamaicans to get involved in, because we're always looking for the sports with that big financial gains and all of that. So swimming must be tough in swimming.
yeah, to
So
stick with
swimming
it.
is tough, especially growing up, trying to find the money for suits, for going to the different meets. Financially, it is a struggle. There are a few meets that are coming about, like the ISL, which is the International Swimming League. They're trying to make swimming into a professional league, and it's been successful for the last 3 years.
That's good.
But that's also something that the younger generation can look forward to. Myself, Joanna Evans from Bahamas, and Dylan Carter from Trinidad and Tobago are the first 3 Caribbean island swimmers to go to ISL. And this is from the entire country, the entire world.
Yeah.
They basically have 12 teams, and the managers from each team choose the fastest out of the entire country, the entire world, to put on their team. So for the fact that there's 3 Caribbean swimmers on it now shows a huge potential that we could have in the future for Caribbean swimmers. But it's all about sustainability. Can it be marketed? Can it be endorsed? And will it have?
Need more output for swimming and get it into the media. But I just mentioned on suits and that, what's the cost of? Because I'm thinking you just need a pool, but to swim. But I know I'm just thinking in layman's terms. I know there's more to it. You need suits, you need equipment, goggles, and all of this costs money. Because people think that on table tennis you just need a board and a racket to do this, but there must be a setup cost where you need equipment. So what kind of equipment do you need for swimming for people who don't know?
The good thing is you don't need much to learn to swim.
Yeah.
So learn to swim. I'm talking to you.
Ah.
Learn to swim. You can just get it.
All right.
And you can learn anywhere. You can learn in the seas. You can learn in the lakes. You can learn. When you
It's
want
never
to
too late. It's never too late to learn.
Never too late. That's a huge thing.
That's a good thing about it.
But if you want to do it as a sport, there starts to pick up a few more bills start to come in. Practice suits, competition suits, the caps, the goggles, the equipment, the fins, the pool boys, all of that. And that's just one thing. Pool space, being part of a team, going to international meets, that's also fun. And the amount of meets that you have to do to prepare yourself You have to use the suits and probably get 3 or 4 a year.
Mm.
A tech suit is probably anywhere between $200 and $500. They say it's only for one meet, but I've used mine for like half a year.
Yeah.
It all depends on, is it mental strength actually?
Yeah.
If you said this suit is going to help you and get a record, then you're going to believe it. Then you're going to buy like 6 of them. But if you say, you know what, it's really me, I just need something a little bit tighter than my practice suit, then it can work. But yeah, you have to budget. You have to budget for swimming. It's not like track or football. You have to put in the money to continue.
Is there anything that's on your mind that probably could get you back into the pool? Like something that you didn't accomplish that you feel like this is a goal that I had set out and
one must go around.
That little
Commonwealth Games 2022 England.
I really want to win this title. And
you never can tell. Something just put it back in.
Is there anything there that you wanted to accomplish that you never quite did, and that can kind of pull you back in?
If I had the conversation in 2016, maybe, but I think 2016, I had this conversation with myself and said, what else do I want to do? Because I don't want to leave the sport regretting or feel like there's something else I need to do. So 2016 was actually when I had another breakthrough, and that's why I continued to 2020 or 2021. That was one more go around at Commonwealth, one more go around at Pan Ams and Worlds, and just see what I could do. And so when I finished, and I was like, well, I did not achieve the things I thought I was going to do, but I finished, and I'm content, and I am out.
Yeah.
So you had peace now.
Yeah, man, I have peace.
Total peace. So she don't miss the pool.
You're at peace.
So retirement is in full swing, where you just relax now and you look back and take it all in.
I have herbs in the windows. I'm cooking, I'm baking. I'm in full retirement.
So you're not around swimming, though, the organization or the association of swimming. You're not involved.
I always thought about what I wanted to do when I finished. I always wanted to be involved in aspects, whether in the Caribbean or Jamaica or worldwide. And as I continued in the sport and I saw what I could do internationally, I thought maybe my path would be better achieved if I go for maybe somebody on the board for FINA, see if I can get on an international board for swimming. And that way I can find funds, I can find projects and do all of that, so I can help out Jamaica and the Caribbean swimming as well. My goal is still to get a pool in Mobe, hopefully, and just see if we can branch out and get that untapped talent as well. But
you want a pool in Montego Bay? That shouldn't be hard.
It shouldn't, right?
Yeah, that should not be hard. Montego Bay? No.
10-year plan.
Speaking is different from we know the political side to it of getting it in Mobile.
Because everything is in Kingston, right? It's centralized.
So actually, many swimmers who travel from St. Elizabeth, travel from Mobile, and it's a long trek, and them can't do it every week. Them can't do it for the competitions, and eventually them just fizzle out. The passion gets extinguished way too young before them can even reach any potential.
Yeah, I think that's a good move for you to try get on one of those boards. I think overall the swimming environment, as you said before, in terms of professionalism, they need to step it up another level, because you might put it this way: we might get more athletes coming out of Africa and the Caribbean. You probably wouldn't hear about Michael Phelps anymore. Because the finances, we do look at finances. So, and it's a big part. Most of the talented people that generally don't come from that type of background, So I definitely think swimming needs that little push. You need that push in swimming. So
for you to get on one of these boards,
I'll vote for you. I'll vote for you when the time comes.
I'll send it your way.
Probably should get Babs on one of these interviews and tell her that Mobe swimming pool, because we interview a lot of people across all sports, and we see where sports in Jamaica, people don't understand the difficulties that each sport got through. Even track and field and football, which tend to get more than others, but sports like swimming, table tennis, badminton, you name it, we need more infrastructure in Jamaica, and that would definitely help to. I mean, if we're producing at this rate with less infrastructure, with more infrastructure, I don't think we can get any worse.
We're producing
Imagine.
without any investment.
Without any investment. People
It's
wait
all
till it-
self. It's all on you, the
Yeah.
athlete, to
Yeah.
sacrifice everything. And then when you know the glamour come and everybody jumping and behaving as if they were there before.
when that war record comes, everybody wants to come on board. Before, the struggles are there.
That was
And then
what,
if you
25
didn't-
years? 25
if you-
years? Like,
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't have that
you know,
mental
21.
edge, that competitiveness to you, hey, it would be a different story. But you deserve all the credit and the kudos for sticking with it throughout
Yeah.
everything. As I said, from 16 to 25, and you reinvent yourself and you push. That's why I'm sure they'll ask if there's probably one more thing you may come back. You never can tell, but you're at peace. I mean, hey, I mean,
Check all of them off the list.
yeah, all right. So that is great. That is great.
Yes, what's the name of your the documentary that I said? What's the name of it?
Darling of the Pool. Sorry, it took me a while.
Yeah, Darling of the Pool.
Darling of the Pool.
Yeah, so viewers, if you haven't seen it before,
Yeah,
you should
check.
go and watch it. I mean,
It's a nice little piece.
I haven't watched it as
Yes.
yet, but
I
I'm
saw
going
clips
to
of
watch
it.
it.
Yes, I saw clips of it. But it's not.
My producer watch it. As you said, I saw clips. Don't hold it against me, but for sure, the weekend will end and I don't watch it. So to all the viewers also watching, I heard it's great. Yeah, so yeah.
Yes, Alia. Well, we have to wrap up now. But thank you for coming on today and sharing telling us about your story in the pool. Yeah.
In and out the pool, yeah.
Yes, in and out the pool.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the next time you probably come on Primal Sports, I don't know if it's coming out to retirement or you're on the FINA board or that mobile pool will be up and running. But I'm sure we'd want you back on Primal Sports at some point in time for sure. Because I mean,
2 out of
Yeah.
3.
yeah, 2 out of the 3.
Yeah.
Don't tell us which 2. I think the listeners know which 2. But I mean, thanks for being with us, as my host said, and
Yeah, man.
all the best in retirement and your future endeavors. And you're one of the greatest athletes I've come across, not
Yeah.
around personally, and I've met. And it's a pleasure for you being us on the show with us.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
you. All right.
Up next, you know, you
Sports
have
commentary.
to introduce the controversial boss.
Yes, it's your time.
Good evening, everyone. What a pleasure talk to Alia Atkinson. It's amazing how humble the real champions are. And we're gonna talk about less humble champions at some point, eh? But it's really amazing to watch somebody who set world records and represented Jamaica at the highest possible levels. And they maintain that groundedness, eh? Thanks to Alia. So this week, Reggae Boys, what can I tell you? Primal Sports called this thing months ago that we should have abandoned the course we're taking and think about a longer term plan for football. I remember when I was going to school, they said to me, you can't plant peas and reap corn. Jamaica's strategy has been for the last several years, and I mentioned it last week, has been to go and find players rather than go and build players. Now, to me, a football program is about the state of your nation's football. The football program in England represents what's going on in England, as does the football program in Brazil and every other country I can think of. Jamaica is unique among nations in that we're trying to find a shortcut. There's a good football program in England. Why don't we find some Jamaicans in England? And we keep repeating this, knocking our heads against the wall, hoping to find some way that we can find some miracle players. And guess what? We found some this time around. We found a crop of players on paper that essentially would make Jamaica a superpower in football. Ravel Morrison, Antonio, these guys are quality guys. But, you know, again, you can't just put ingredients in a pot and expect a good stew to come out. And I think that's what Reggae Boys is. It's a stew. And it's rather stupid that we've been doing this over and over and unable to produce any results. And I'll make some direct comments about the match the other day. But the biggest comment was, I saw that foul coming. The foul that got the ejection from, what's his name? Onande. Damian Lowe. Damian Lowe has been playing recklessly for a sweeper for the last several matches. You'll all agree. and he's running the bad books. He's booked almost every, I mean, he is rather reckless. And it cost us this time, and it cost us dearly. And so I was not surprised with his ejection, because he's been living dangerously, and we should have seen it. But we never see anything in this thing. We lack foresight. I think that I saw my fellow commentator, Oral Tracy, talk about who is to blame. And I think we all should shoulder some of the blame. We always looking for shortcuts, and there is no shortcut to World Cup. Time now for us to start a program. Time now for us to have a home-based team. Time now for us to have confidence in ourselves. We need to have confidence in ourselves. We are Jamaicans, and we are capable of competing with the best. And that brings me to the other thing. Short commentary this week, but that brings me to the other thing. If we are to have confidence in ourselves, what are we to make of Jamaica bobsled team? Jamaica qualified a bunch of people for the bobsled. You guys familiar with a movie called Cool Runnings? Jamaica qualified a bunch of guys for the four-man bobsled. We have a lady in the two-lady thing, or the one-lady thing, and we have a two-man team. But all of a sudden, we qualify a team largely of expatriates. We qualify a team of people who, if you want me to be indelicate about it, none of them don't live here. So we have gone and found another reggae boy shortcut to try and get into the Olympics. So the long and short is that the team was picked now, and the JOA decided to support the team with local physiotherapists and technicians. All of a sudden now, the Englishmen, the reggae boys, bobsledders, are upset. They want a New Zealand lady who has been the team doctor quite fairly, and they want her to accompany them on the team. They are quite upset. The president of bobsled gone to the mat, he's gone to the media, he's complaining bitterly that his results will be affected if they don't get this foreign girl to come on the team. Now, you see what's happening now. Antonio missed a couple of matches for reggae boys because he wanted his personal physician, physiotherapist on the team. And now the bobsled team, mostly comprised of Englishmen, a Canadian here and there and so on, they want their New Zealand-based girl as a physiotherapist on the team. They would like to convince us that our local physiotherapists are not good enough to coach, to work with the team. No, I'm telling you, physiotherapist basically is the same everywhere you go. I don't know if New Zealand has special sauce in the physiotherapy game. Why we are making such a big fuss about who will be the physiotherapist. It's all over the media. I think that we will probably come close to last in the four-man bobsled if we make the end of the course. Last, what they don't tell you in Cool Runnings, they crash that sled and that to drag it out. And because some people are saying it's dangerous to put these guys in these sleds in a sport that they don't really know, which is what we did last time around. And I don't think we should be fussing. We should be glad to be there. We're the darling of the thing. It's a novelty. Trinidad is right behind us now. Trinidad have a bobsled team too. Trinidad people is a set of falafel people. That's another talk. But my argument is that this is not the time to be having division about who gets their way. Go with the GOA, man. The GOA gave you free tickets, free gears. They probably paid for a sled and all this kind of thing. You can work with the Jamaican physiotherapists. I guarantee you. We have good doctors in Jamaica. We have good physiotherapists. New Zealand have some good ones too, but maybe she should try for the New Zealand bobsled team. So that's sports commentary for today. What say you?
Peter don't like these sports that don't. That's not traditional to our culture.
That's not happening in
nature,
Jamaica,
background, whatever you call it.
Remember, guys, the numbers to call in. 876-552-7406, 876-552-7406.
Feel free to call anytime from now to the close of the show. Feel free to call in and talk on any sports topic. I mean, we have a host of topics here that we want to cover, but let's start with the interesting news that Tom Brady has called it quits after 22 seasons and 7 trophies at the age
Is
of
it official?
44. It's
seeming-
per report
seeming that
sources,
way.
good sources have said that he has retired. I mean,
Yeah.
so I mean, hats off. We spoke with one goat, Alia Atkinson, going to another goat,
Another
Tom
goat.
Brady. Definitely on the Mount Rushmore of American sports. One of the great athletes across American sports, where we put the likes of Michael Jordan. I mean, Tom Brady's
Muhammad Ali.
Tom Brady's
Usain
definitely
Bolt.
well, American sports. American
Oh,
sports.
you're sticking with America.
With American athletes, but Tom Brady is definitely a legend in his sport and
Of course.
touted as the greatest, not only in his position, but NFL is tough because it's a lot of positions to play. But I mean,
I think Tom is for me. Joe Montana is and Lawrence Taylor from the Giants from back in those days. I think I put those in the top 3, whichever way you want to place them. But definitely Tom Brady. One thing I'd have to say about Tom Brady is the ultimate teammate.
yeah,
You know, and I think Tom knows that to win football, to win a Super Bowl, you have to be. It's not just about the QB. It's about offensive line, the defense. You know, it's a host of different things. You know, it's the ultimate team sport when you really look at it. You know, one player, one misassignment can cost you the whole match.
when you look at Tom Brady, we spoke about competitiveness earlier on.
Yeah, it's competitive
I
as
mean,
well.
Tom Brady is not the quickest. He's not the strongest. He can't throw the furthest.
Yeah.
But when it comes to competitive edge,
Yeah.
mental fortitude, Tom Brady is up there with. I mean, he's the epitome of mental fortitude.
Yeah, and trust me, hats off to him. I was hoping that he would have come back for one more season. But I knew they was gonna lose last week.
We're
Because,
touching on that now
No,
because
but-
there were picks last week. I mean,
yeah, because of the
you got
because
2 out of 4. I got 2 out of 4.
3 out of 4.
You got 3 out of 4.
yeah. But
You chose the Chiefs.
I chose Buffalo.
Yeah, and then you chose. Oh yeah.
Niners over. I'm going to touch on Aaron a bit. Like I was still speaking on Tom. I was hoping that him could get a farewell season.
But he's not really one to.
I still think he's going to be back. I just can't believe that he'll just hang it up right there.
Yeah, I think.
But I guess because of everything that's happened this year, you know, the injuries, Antonio Brown, the whole fallout and everything.
Yeah.
So it ended on a sad note, but it was bound to happen. You know, too many injuries, and that LA Rams team, no joke. You know, Tom almost made a comeback in the last
again.
part there. But well, let's touch on the NFL there. Since we're on Tom, we see the NFC conference finals will be tomorrow. So we see the Rams going up against the 49ers.
Who's your pick?
I'm a pick for that match. I'm going with the 49ers again because of the running game. I think the pass rush from LA Rams will be somewhat because of the running game. I think that the pass rush would not be as effective as it like last week against Tampa. You know, Tampa was looking more to throw the ball. So, you know, you gave those Von Miller and Aaron Donald time to rush the pass. And now I think Debo Sanders and Kyle Shanahan with that running game will definitely have an impact, a significant impact.
All of a second, we're having our first caller for the day. A second. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Primal Sports.
Afternoon, Primal. Afternoon. What's going on?
What's going on?
Mr. Barham, what's going on? Mr. Controversy Boss.
Afternoon, Cunning one.
Very good.
Yeah. I want to say a long time I called him. I called from Peter, say full stop me, I called him.
Peter is never full stop with Peter. It's always a comma.
True.
Yeah.
Thing is, at first I was going along and listening and saying I agree with everything that you're saying, everything, and then it's like you just go across one little line and we just disagree.
Yeah. The can't fully agree with the controversy one.
Yeah, we didn't far up on the drive too, but then it take a little left. And
Yeah.
Because first thing, I wonder really and truly, because I need to have this conversation another day. What Peter have about the unconventional quote unquote sports?
He's probably the best one to answer that.
We'll
But
have to answer that for you.
yeah, I mean, no store in Jamaica if you. Yeah.
I think it,
But what I'm trying to say is which sport is real endemic to the culture though, because the sports are not to hug up Babylon and bring them man.
Well, he's here. He's about to answer you.
Cutting on, in my opinion, right?
Sir.
In my opinion, sports and culture are two very similar things. Sports and culture are coexistent like yin and yang. It's two. You need sports and culture reflect what your country is about. I think that as Jamaicans, we are exposed to sports, and the best of us play the best of those sports. You grow up playing cricket, football, maybe a little volleyball and some ping pong and some lawn tennis and all this swimming. And I think that's what reflects who you are. I honestly don't feel that a guy born in America playing hockey league or lacrosse or something like that's endemic to them. And then we form a team of those people, qualify them and say that they're representing us. It's novel and it's kind of funny and but they're laughing at us. I want them to laugh with us. They're laughing at us. You see, you know what I'm with the bobsleigh team? They are laughing at us coming on.
As I said, more while I yield to your personal knowledge of certain things, but at the same time, where we draw the line though, because when the key word we use is endemic,
Yeah.
and that is very, very tricky for us.
True.
Where we draw the line.
True. I agree. We can try other things.
Some people.
Motorsports, cycling.
No, because
Yeah.
that is it. Where it become a preference thing, really, because some people draw the line on basketball. I remember being frowned upon playing basketball because people say basketball is an American sport.
True.
And the cricket people say all of the 6 foot of them go on basketball instead of bowling pace.
True.
And all of that, so it was where we draw the line. That's
True.
So, but what's this? I have a little pet peeve with that, say, but
I do.
in terms of even the physiotherapist thing, I don't fully agree with you.
All right.
And the issue is, it comes back to the sports politics, and the sports politics always ugly, because all this is the latest salvo in JOA versus Mr. Stokes. And
Yes.
that's what I feel it is.
Correct, sir.
That's what I feel it is. So then, because JOA says there's a rule where they're trying to build capacity building and thing, and on the face of it, that sounds good. And I don't disagree with them. But was that really the case, or is that something that they used to stick it to Mr. Stokes?
The GOA defense is that Cunning one.
With foreign physiotherapists too. So is it really, if that is a rule for true and it was clear and everybody was clear on that, JOA have the clearest and firmest foot to stand.
That is correct. They actually had a meeting 5-6 years ago, I'm told, and they agreed to use as many local technicians as possible. Right? Which is what you should do if you are JOA.
Agreed. But
right. And Mr. Stokes was at that meeting. Mr. Stokes was said to be at that meeting and no claims that to remember. Yeah.
He said, she said no.
True.
Because
True.
Mr. Stokes
Politics.
is saying he's asking them to know, provide a board minister that said that the rules say there must be. So now it become he said, she said, and then it just become again Mr. Samuda versus Mr. Stokes, and it just get ugly versus the actual substantive matter. So it's really that more troubling to me than the unconventionalness of the sport. It's just that JOA seem to always be in something with somebody and it didn't really look good no more.
I agree, but you know, we have had problems where GOA have provided coaches for relay teams, and then the clubs want to choose the coaches and all this kind of thing.
Peter. But Cuddy, that's I
JOA can be right a lot of these times, and based on reputation, we kind of deal with them away. I agree with that.
Yeah.
No, there's no way if you have a coach that is your coach. If you go into a games, you have the character. Just like in the physio argument, I think it's kind of personal.
Lose your physio personal.
It's very personal.
Physio being with your physio personal. I think as best as possible, and if it was allowable, then would I want them physio. So the issue become the rule, yes, and I agree with the direction you're going in there. Physio personal, that's where I wanted to start the disagreement. I don't think it's just a physio, or people that just go any doctor when them sick, but you go your doctor because you have a rapport with your doctor. Your doctor know your history, etc. So it's little more personal than just a physio. Is a physio. Is a physio.
Yeah.
So you do anything coach is personal as well?
Yeah, man, definitely.
Of course.
The thing is, we know who we are in track and field. Though we have whole heap of coach, and there's no way our organization could afford to pay for every single coach to go. A lot of these coaches can pay for themselves and be nearby.
Yeah.
If that is the case.
I see that with the jumping sports. A lot of the jumping coaches weren't official. They sit in the crowd and thing. I see that a lot.
Yeah, but you must bring your personal coach with you though.
But Cunning one, at the end of the day, my argument is it's just bobsledding. Yes, what I'm saying.
See that, I'm gonna like that. That rough.
Yeah. The bobsled is in their place as well.
I think Peter would have preferred if they carried bobsled here. We'll start having some bobsled events.
Yes,
here.
man. Give somebody go-kart, the boy them who used to push down Red Gathering. Give them a chance to make the team, and then I'll be with you.
I think that's the problem. It's not local.
Yeah.
No, but
You're patriot.
I don't want to take up all of the time, but I have a little issue with that too because it come back to who we consider to be Jamaican. I'm slightly disagree to that. Even the football reference,
Yeah.
a lot of these. How many people that play for Brazil play in Brazil? Yes, we know that they may have got their.
They all started there, though. They all started there.
I hear that, but it is more often than not than we think in football that people deal with expatriates. So I agree with the core of the argument that the core of the team must be people develop here, and the root of the problem is at the grassroots. But at the top, development is not for at the top though. At the top, all the best players available to you is who you need to play.
Wins and losses at the top, yeah.
My principle is, you see, Cunning one.
We can't just. No, I agree with you doing that.
Cunning one.
I would be trying to catch that line.
Exactly. When you're a national representative, when you're a national representative, you should represent your nation's program. That's all I'm saying.
No, but what is nation? Again, I use nation. Nation different from country. No?
Yeah, man, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Diaspora is in the nation.
Why? Diaspora can be a concept in a boss. Diaspora is a concept.
No, I agree, but it is what it is. You can't want the diaspora money for all of the country and these programs. We want things from them, but not them.
Cunning one, they want some from us too, you know.
No, I don't.
They want the imprimatur of Jamaican. What they want our flag. All right. I'll leave you with that point, bro.
All right, Cunning one.
Sorry, before you go, Cunning one, what's the Oliver Shield score?
Hold on, remember I go to TV. I have to take them. So they know some rating, I'm calling it doing the Oliver Shield.
The last score where it was 2-love and Kingston College had it in the bag.
In 2-0 in extra time. Look like it has been done. It has been done. For this career, so they're non-protest.
Okay. Yeah. Well said.
What does that mean? I've heard that said a couple of times.
The brave may fall, but never yield.
I see.
Peter knows what to do. All
right, Cunning one.
Big up. Thanks.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man.
All right. Respect.
Yeah, man. Manners and respect.
All right.
Yeah.
Cunning one always, well informed.
Yes,
knows what he's speaking about. But yeah, I mean, where do we go back?
Yeah.
I mean, we have to speak about something was said a while ago. And
I do think that I understand Peter's point. We need to have it local. Man, I understand that. And
if we can produce a team that plays internationally, we must have a program out here
locally. Yeah.
Whether it's a Bush League thing, or you try to start an upstart to the thing, but how can we have a bobsled team when there's no bobsled going on here
in Jamaica?
I think that's what Peter is saying.
I have a question.
Yeah. And then it's funded by whom?
There's a bobsled association.
Yes, and it's funded by who really?
But yes,
us the people.
Yeah. And we can't go to a bobsled event and say, oh, I like that guy in the number 4 jersey, or
we can't see that so why are they representing?
Yes, I understand that point.
That he has a talent.
I have a question for you guys. Do you think Ravel Morrison, when he was playing football in England and was England's hottest baller at about 19 years old, 20 years old?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Do you think he dreamed about playing for Jamaica? Kane?
No.
You?
No.
All right. So he never made the England team as he got into adulthood. And so Jamaica is what? I fall back on, right?
So we're taking reject ballers.
Yes. Many
yes.
of these guys who come here don't have the commitment that might be needed to fight out a football match, in my opinion.
Possible.
They have the skill set, and so on, but they don't have the fight. So when 60, 70 minutes gone, and the other Mexico fighting for Mexico, what are we doing? We're just saying, boy, we lose the match already, and it's gone.
You know, Ken, as Peter saying, you're growing up in a community, and you represent Jamaica as a different thing. You know?
Different something.
It's when you get on a pitch and you come back home to your community and people are that's a different mindset.
Look on the case where Shamar Nicholson now not coming back to play in this game.
Good point.
And he's homegrown talent.
I think there's something behind that with Shamar.
Why?
There's something behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It don't look good to me.
It doesn't.
I just said maybe he's
me.
not getting game and probably frustrated as well because you find that him benching most of the games of late.
After starting, and he was the footballer of the year for 2021.
He got a new contract. And that boy was fighting. He was fighting.
No,
for
he's a
Jamaica.
fighter.
I saw that.
Yeah, he's a fighter.
But you get a new contract and then you suddenly announce that personal reasons and
You want to settle with the club.
No, Peter, look at it. The
I mean, you have to secure
last
your
couple of
bottle.
matches, you know,
Yeah.
in backseat, you know, because Antonio been,
Yeah.
Antonio, you
well, that
understand
was
what I'm saying?
understandable. That's understandable.
Yeah.
And Antonio came in with a good strike rate. The forwards are hot or cold, you know.
Yeah.
Antonio was hot. You had to play him.
Yeah, but Shamar Nicholson
Probably slightly offended
producing.
me. Maybe he's not himself as a Jamaican and these guys as foreigners.
That again is the problem.
You understand what I
That's
mean?
the problem.
And you not getting the shine, you not getting the ability to get to them first, and
And he's
want
been
them kind of
playing good.
financial.
Even though, I mean, even when he doesn't score, he sacrifices for the team. He
Of
tackles,
course.
he gets back.
Of course.
He's a team player.
Of course. He's a
And,
fighter.
I mean, he won the award last year for Footballer of the Year. He's been playing good. I mean, we see where he moved from, I think it was Boystown, not sure. Don't quote me on that. Where he got abroad, Europe, in the leagues, and now he's in Russia.
But guys, the matches are played in a window.
And you refuse to come
And you
back.
refuse to play the country. That's something else because other players are playing, you know.
Yeah.
And you're
There's
saying
something else behind it.
whatever it is,
But
you always
even
see
so
some hidden plot, you know. But all I'm
Even so
saying,
personally though, don't you want to represent the country coming back?
that's
to the
what I'm
point?
saying. It
but-
doesn't look good to me.
It doesn't look
And
good
let me ask you
on
something.
him personally.
No, and him.
But he's a good youth, and
But
I
don't
mean,
you think him probably feel a little way? You don't think him have feelings?
Well, no,
too?
but
All
that's a
right,
part
you
of
want to hear the
sports.
conspiracy?
That's a
You want
part
to hear
of
the
sports.
conspiracy?
What is it?
It's clear to me that the club has said to him, Jamaica not going anywhere. Don't risk injury. Come, stay with the club.
that's
It's
possible.
obvious to me.
Yeah, that's one
I
of
don't
them.
think the young man made a decision.
You don't
and
think
said-
it's on his
No, it's
part?
not personal.
I don't think it's on his part.
No, it's not personal.
Is
That
that-
young man that I see fighting for Jamaica.
Yeah.
No man, that you would have give him left
Come
arm
on the bench.
on the
Yeah.
field.
I'm on the
Yeah.
bench.
Based
So
on-
I think that it's clear that the club said
Has
to him,
something to do with it.
Jamaica not going anywhere. These pack of jokers you're running around with from Jamaica. You know?
I think that's your
And
personality.
just being signed and risk chance of getting injured. And
Yes, yes.
They're injured or not,
can we-
you're allowed to play for your country.
Yes. What are the numbers again?
Remember the numbers? 1-876-552-7406. Feel free to call.
On WhatsApp. Yeah.
On WhatsApp only. Feel free to call in. Talk on any topic.
Yeah, but I'm all for what Peter said. I want a homegrown Jamaica.
I think so.
And first, I watched Costa Rica match right after the Jamaica match, and I realized something that the field makes a big difference. The ball was when these guys could pass the ball freely.
Yes.
If they could pass the ball freely, you know how much weight to put on the parts.
Yes.
Our field was bumpy.
So
Yeah.
going
Where
to-
you could see a distinct difference in the type of ball game right after the Jamaica match.
Yeah.
we're going to Panama tomorrow.
We'll have to
We'll
change.
see.
They'll probably play better in Panama.
Jamaica will play better in Panama.
Yeah.
What do you think
so.
is the result tomorrow in Panama?
So I probably a 1-all.
1-1 draw.
Yeah, I'd say a 1-all. I think
Sometimes
these
I have too
English
much
players will
bias
play
in my
better
play.
on a better turf. That's what I think. That's what I think.
English players.
Yeah, English players.
I have been watching the football recently, and people have been complaining that Jamaicans are running out of steam as we go into the 60-minute, 70-minute era. It's clear that I think we do too much chasing off the ball. We don't understand how to space out ourselves and how to use the space to move the ball rather than doing all the work. We are getting tired because we're a nation. They say we are the fastest people in the world over the short sprints. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Football is not a short sprint. Football is a series of sprints, but mostly a medium pace jog. and we're not good at it. I think that's why we're getting so tired. People not coming back to help the defense, and we're not going forward to help the offense.
I mean, as professionals, I think you should be fit.
Positioning.
No matter what sport you play as a professional,
Well, you need to,
you should be match fit.
yeah, but you need to know to pace yourself as well.
Well, I saw Mexico just have the ball for about a good 7-8 minutes without we touching the ball
Yeah,
one time,
yeah,
and it was bad. And we're down
Damn,
2-1. I
Monica,
said,
yeah.
I said, all out, push up the back line, push up.
Yeah.
And it's kept back then. And you're down 2-1. You have to score 2 more goals. Why?
But
you
what if the
sitting back?
players were tired?
Well, Ravel looked tired still.
Ravel was tired.
They were tired.
And another thing I want to mention, Anthony Grant, now at Scunthorpe, he was playing at Swindon Town. And before he represented Jamaica, he was a staple in that side, playing almost every match. And after representing Jamaica,
no time.
no football time benched, and now he switched to Scunthorpe. What do you think of that?
Manager again, they don't want to release the players to come play
and
this
play with
league.
Jamaica.
Yeah, just like the African Cup.
But let me ask you a
So
question.
there's a case
Hey,
where
wait, let me ask you a question. If you're a manager of an English football team and your player goes to play for Jamaica and he comes back, you're saying you're going to punish him by not using him?
Yeah, because they told him not to.
He's
leave.
not an asset for the team anymore? I think I would want to win the match.
It's a statement.
Okay.
They're making a statement because they told him not to go.
And he went because they couldn't stop him from
They
going.
can't stop him from going.
you know, and he's back and he's under contract. He's
Yeah.
not playing. Now he's transferred to another
I just
club.
want to double check the predictions. You predicted Nadal.
Nadal.
I predicted Nadal.
Alexander, he's out.
And so you were wrong. So
He's a
it's down to the Schwab and the
But
controversy.
I predicted Barty. But you know what?
Nobody watches women tennis.
Well, I watch it.
Naima, if you're listening, Naima, don't.
No, I'm joking. I knew Naima would hear that. And there's a lady whose initials are DD. I wouldn't want her to hear that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Ashley Barty played well.
Yeah, we should win in the title, beating Daniel Collins from the United States in straight sets.
Some good news is that my friend Keith Garvey predicted Medvedev. So I think it's good news for Nadal because our friend Keith is have like a 100% wrong record, you know.
He picked
It gets a
Barty,
90% now.
90%.
I didn't hear that. I was.
I'm sure he's probably calling at some time on the show.
Medvedev in form still, you know.
I'm good with Nadal.
Yeah,
I'm going with Nadal.
You're going with Nadal?
I'm going with Nadal.
I'll stick with
big stage.
Medvedev.
And Nadal has a way of, even if things not going for him,
can
he'll
pull
find
it
a
up.
way and he'll hustle you. And
I think he's a champion, and remember, I said to you that if he break the 20 tie, I am going to pronounce him the GOAT.
next week we'll have a
Live on
debate
Primal.
on this.
Yes.
Next week we have things
So the match is at
lined
3
up for
o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning,
In the morning,
3 a.m.
3
a.m.
Our
Yes.
time, that is
Yes.
this side of the world.
Yeah. But that is for next week topic when Nadal wins his 21st title. We're predicting it here. But things that left for this weekend are coming up.
You guys think? You guys think that Jamaica? We have been the country in this round with the least amount of local spectators, mainly because of the vaccination situation and so on. Do you think we missed the 12th man in the match?
We do.
Of course.
I think we do. We do.
Of course. I don't know the reason for not having spectators. You have your rules, vaccinated, allowed in.
So you think they should have allowed vaccinated?
Of course. You have the grandstand and you have bleachers. You can have 15,000 people spread out in the whole facility. What's the big deal?
Yeah. You know what's
It's a big
interesting? A trend that's happening now is I do some contract work, and a fairly large entity in Jamaica, government entity, recently advised me that not all of my workers have to be vaccinated. Why are you going to make of that? It's happening already whether we want to or not. In other words, people that I work for are telling me that my crew has to be vaccinated now. Yeah, so it's going to happen at some point.
Do we have to be vaccinated for Primal? Is it leading to that point?
No comment. We'd have to talk to the board. The board of Primal.
I mean, I've been getting text messages now that people are trying to call in. If you're not getting through, please try to continue. I mean, the phone lines are open. You remember, 1-876-552. There you go. So said, so done. Sorry about that. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Primal Sports.
Afternoon, guys. What's up?
Afternoon.
Sound like O'Neill.
I'm calling.
I mean, the phone lines are hot, you know. You have to see with us sometimes. Sorry about the delay. What's the sports topic for today?
No, I don't have nothing special. Congrats to Casey again.
Oh, well,
Okay.
that is very special. If you
That's becoming quite repetitive, eh?
Really?
Alright, boy. Formula One. I think they'll be having a new racing director with all this.
Okay, so they got rid of the old one.
Yeah, they find the old one.
I mean, somebody has to pay the price usually behind the scenes, but that doesn't call for justice on the track.
But what about the inquiry? It's not. It's
Yeah,
not
I was gonna
over with.
ask.
The inquiry
It don't
is not
start
over.
yet.
It started already, but it's not. They don't come to a conclusion as yet.
No conclusion just but you definitely know that there'll be a new racing director.
Oh, that's good news.
That's
though,
good
man.
news. That man really messed up Mr. Hamilton.
Yeah, Michael. Yeah, he need
Extremely biased.
Go ahead, O'Neill.
But they might be just have different rules for different persons and not put all the eggs on one particular person, which they find to be very, very
What,
tight to have person making such huge decisions. So they might just give several different rules. Different.
okay, you have different people managing different aspects of the race.
Races. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So maybe that could improve or not let past wrongdoings happen again.
I just think that there should be a set of rules rather than the race director creating what he did last time, which was to artificially create a climax.
Shouldn't be left to his judgment, right? You should have something written down that
Yeah.
this is the
I mean,
law.
crashes happen in every race. So how is this rule? Crashes happen in every race.
Yeah. O'Neill?
Yeah, man, I'm right here, man.
Yes.
For the tennis, I'm siding with Dale on this one. Medvedev.
Well,
you know that Dale pick rate is not that high as compared to the Schwab.
It's two of the three people here have a good pick rate, you know.
Yeah, so-
And Dale is not one of them.
So pick a side. If you go with Medvedev, you go with
Why are you going with
Medvedev.
Medvedev?
I have same feeling that he wants this one. To be honest with you, I think Nadal wants it as well, but I think
Who do you think wants it more?
Medvedev.
You're crazy, man.
Hey,
I'll tell
You got good sleep last night?
I'll tell you
Definitely
some low champions, you know. They conserve their emotion and energy until they need it.
Yeah.
And therefore, my money is with Nadal.
Yeah.
Many a time I watch Walner, you know, going through a tournament, and it's when he reach a quarter and the semis, you start to see the fire. And I feel that Nadal will bring the fire in the final. Medvedev have what? Is one slam win so far? How much slam win so far?
one.
Put it against a man with 20, I go with the GOATs.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in style of play, I mean,
Medvedev the last match. If you saw the last match,
down to love.
cursing at the umpire.
Versus Tsitsipas.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Nadal's Medvedev is playing good. I mean,
He's a fiery player, and I think he has a. Well, I think tomorrow morning between him and Nadal, I think Nadal with his delayed tactics on the court, you know, giving Nadal get preferable treatment at times, and I think Medvedev, I hope him can keep him cool tomorrow because he went off against at the umpire in the semi-final match. So I hope when Nadal come out with his delayed tactics, I don't know if it's a left-handed thing, but Nadal is always doing it. So I hope once Medvedev can keep him cool, I think Medvedev can pull out this one.
Nadal will win 3-1 tomorrow morning.
I was about to say 3-1 in favor of Medvedev.
3-1 to Nadal.
I think that Nadal make far less ground stroking errors than Medvedev. And so Nadal with the whole high arcing shots, Medvedev is going to hit a lot of balls in the net. Remember I tell you that from now.
In the net, okay.
Yes. Medvedev is not going to have enough time to chip and charge, and Nadal is going to keep him. Especially on the backhand side, Medvedev makes a lot of errors. And if Nadal keeps hooking the ball over and the ball keeps hooking to Medvedev outside, and he'll make backhand errors.
Okay.
Watch and see.
All right, we see that.
3-1.
Anything else?
Two more things before I go.
Yeah.
Alia,
Yeah.
wonderful to have her on the show. I think I said this to Dale already. She's, to me, by far, when it comes to an individual sport, she's one of the best female Jamaicans.
I mean, track and field individual.
Are you including track and field in that?
Yes, he is.
No, man, when I say individual sport, I mean one sport where you know it's not like a team and
And she don't have anybody that she's basically following in the footsteps of.
Sorry about that, gentle people.
I'm going with the youngster, the upcoming star from Russia.
Medvedev?
Yeah,
All right,
man.
let's see.
Yeah, man.
Gonna be an interesting match.
I can tell there's a lot of arguing on the court tomorrow. Just look out for that.
I mean,
Trust me.
you have to have tactics on the court.
Yeah, the delayed tactics getting unfair treatment. Instead of the Canadian almost losing mine.
Chapalov.
Yes, man, him get upset, man. Get
Chapalov
upset.
played well.
Oh, he made a comment that
Did you watch the amount of interference the crowd was making during the women's match?
no.
The crowd, the Australian crowd,
They were both with that
pick
both.
sides and was they were especially shouting when the service toss in the air.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Tennis normally involve a certain amount.
Players
of...
been complaining about Australian crowd doing them. They've been complaining
Yeah, but
about it.
you know many times I see lady toss the ball in the air and they have to stop.
Yeah.
I mean that's ridiculous, man.
I mean, and all those Australian people are vaccinated, you know. I wonder if something has to.
You think they're unruly bunch?
Aussie. Aye.
I have a little news here. We touch on the West Indies.
Cricket.
boy.
Go ahead now.
Cricket.
Cricket, I hear
We're leading
something.
before we get to the controversy and all of that, we're leading 2-1 against England. Isn't
After
that
losing
good
to
in the
Ireland.
T20? Isn't that a good thing?
After losing to Ireland.
To me,
Beating England.
T20 is a lottery, you know.
Okay.
Anything can in a T20.
Jam licking kind of
Yeah,
thing.
to me, I don't see
Butler.
much skill to T20, you know. T20 is like,
It a century.
eh.
Here's one of the most.
Prolific. Yeah.
No, but it's gonna look
watch.
good as long as it's not caught. I remember when I watched Lara, you know, I watched Lara when he just started his career, play against Australia at Sabina Park. And Lara was picking the spots in the boundaries. He's hitting fours all along the ground. And when he went in the air, it was very safe. T20 to me looks so risky.
Yeah.
I think that they're just slugging. I'm sorry, to my eye. I have an untrained eye, so I can't see the difference.
Especially low order batsmen.
It's just what happens.
Yeah.
So when we go 2-1, K Sarah.
Well, chaos in the camp, man.
Yes, tell
between the captain Kieran Pollard and a couple of the youngsters within the West
Namely
Indies
Odin
team.
Smith.
Yeah, the Jamaican, the youngster from Jamaica, Odin Smith.
Peter made a comment earlier that Trinidad follows, but we have a Trinidad captain trying to bad up the young Jamaican.
Bullies him.
Bullies him.
Yeah, allegedly. Let us not.
Yeah.
But it's out
Phil
there.
Simmons said nothing like that. He's
I
in
don't
the camp.
believe Phil Simmons one bit.
But is
They tried
a Phil Simmons a Trini too?
to-
So Trini, you know,
Yeah.
the Trini stick together. It's not like us, you know.
The very Trinity.
They're trying to push
Actually,
it. They're trying to. Yeah,
I'm joking. We love a Trinity people. We love a
Of
Trinity
course, we're
people.
Trinidad and
Yeah.
Tata as well. You know,
Yeah.
but they're trying to push it under the rug. But it's a real thing. It's a real issue.
Yeah.
It had something to do with agents.
Yeah.
You know, trying to get the youngster to go over to his side of the thing, and also.
Is that rumor or truth?
It's allegedly, but
Yeah.
it's out there. It's out there. Everybody know what's going on. And it look bad. You know, some people calling for the captaincy of Kieran.
I'd like to wait and see an official report.
Official
Yeah.
report,
Yeah,
but
because
based on what we're hearing,
It's alleged, but
senior players
Yeah.
want to convert the younger players to more so their agents. I mean, it's like, business is sport.
That's yeah.
Which is conflict of interest.
And you know how it is when the youngsters come in, you have to pay your dues. And you have
Yeah,
to,
man, that's part of West Indies because if you remember,
part of
there's a fast bowler who ran a foul, Captain Lara. Was it Rosie? Was his name a Jamaican?
Rose.
Yes.
It's always a Jamaican in it.
Franklin
Always a
Rose.
Yeah, Franklin Rose
Franklin Rose.
ran a foul of Brian Lara because of the same sort of thing. It's a pecking order in
Yes,
cricket.
yes.
But I remember when Lara himself was the young boy, and Lara had to sit down and bring the pads for the older guys.
Yeah, so it's a bit much of that.
It's it's a rite of passage, I think.
I just remember that Brian Lara and Franklin Rose.
Yeah, man. You don't remember that?
Because I heard Franklin Rose got quite upset.
Yeah, that was the end of his career.
They had to hold back from
And this young kid, Dean, he's not going along with it, and they benched him.
Yeah.
For the third match against England, did not play, did not bowl in the second match.
But I think you should humble yourself. You make the big team. The captain
So
gives
you
you
say
instructions.
the captain should dictate to you, not on the field. This is off the field activities.
I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. I mean, there's lines.
And then you're
as I
going to
said,
take it up by not playing. Well, I don't know the reason for him not playing the third match, but he's obvious. He should have been a part of that starting lineup. So, boy, it don't look good. It don't look good, and it's all in the public. If it's not something close to it, yeah, if it don't go like that,
And
it's
we
something
already
close
know
to
West
it.
Indies cricket is.
Of course, and it's always a Jamaican. You know, Jamaica. Same thing with Marlon. Don't think Marlon had some history there with even Lara.
So even if we're on the right side, it's all Jamaicans are always involved.
Yeah, I remember Marlon and Lara wasn't really that.
Yes, I know. It's a dynamic in West Indies cricket. You know?
Seems to be the Trinidad and the Jamaicans.
Obviously,
mostly.
yes,
too.
yes.
Always vying for leadership.
The two
Yes.
two big.
Yes.
We did well with the
countries in the-
Antiguan captains, though. You know, we had Viv and then
And Antigans can get along. as well.
yeah.
And the Bajans and Richard Richardson.
Yes.
So those guys. But yeah. But wait, we didn't get to finish our predictions in a
The
game.
NFL.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
Who you going with tomorrow? 'Cause we have the Niners versus the Rams.
Going with the Rams.
You went with the Rams.
Cup look
Cooper
like.
Cup.
Yeah, look like he's
The best receiver in the
a
game now.
big time player.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cup.
Yeah.
Going with the Rams, and I'm going with the Chiefs.
You have to go with the Chiefs.
I forgot the Chiefs. Mahomes is electrifying.
Yes. What you make of Aaron, bro? Horrible match last week.
Wow, I mean,
They're calling him about the best of one of the best players.
He's of all
He's nowhere
time.
near the best.
He has a lot of the weapons. I mean, he has the weapons in terms of he can throw deep. He knows the game. He's very cerebral. He can run. Can use his legs. But when it comes to back to that mental fortitude that we touch on, the makeup of an athlete, yes, you're big, you're strong, you're fast. He can do the things. But when it comes to that competitive edge,
You think he's not competitive?
he's competitive.
I
that
think he's
that
selfish.
mental fortitude, that
Yeah.
level of, so to say, borderline insanity.
Yeah.
Where that you just
You know,
Engulfed with winning.
I think Aaron is selfish, and I think that is what is beating him all the time. As I said before, remember with Tom, and football is a team sport. It's like no other team sport, and you wanting to always have being the highest paid on your team. You know, Tom Brady never took the most money. You understand me? Tom Brady carry on this man here, Mr. Brown. You know, Mr. Brown into him house.
Yeah.
You know, Tom
Lot of
Brady.
elites.
Yeah,
Call back Gronk.
the relationship that you
with
build.
the players.
You know, you have rumors within the locker room that Tom would go to the defense and tell them what Peyton might do
Yeah.
when it comes down to certain parts of the game.
Let's study the game.
That's what I'm saying. But Aaron don't seem to be that type of player. Aaron is all about Aaron.
Yeah.
When you're really,
Offensive.
that's exactly what I'm saying. It doesn't. More time him
Getting
throw
paid.
more players under the bus. You know, so even
Tom Brady
to play-
always,
to play-
side reports when he talk
Exactly.
about other players and well.
exactly.
You know,
And
you
big
just
up in
talk to-
offensive line.
Yeah.
You always hear mentioned. Offensive line is so important.
Yeah.
Without them, you can't go in as an offensive unit.
Team player.
Yeah,
And he'll tell you if you're not pulling your weight, he'll tell you that, hey,
exactly.
we need to pull your weight. But Tom,
And Aaron is going to get MVP for this season. Is odds-on favorite.
mean,
you know,
yeah,
Tom
but
is
this-
second, but a distant second. So
Aaron Rodgers is like LeBron James.
The resignation is immediate for Tom Brady, or is it easy seeing the season now?
Season's done. He lost last week.
Yeah,
He was eliminated in the finals, the conference finals.
Before the divisional.
the divisional round.
divisional
Final.
round.
Okay.
Divisional
All right.
round. The finals is tomorrow.
Last a close match, was an exciting match. Coming back in tiny match with seconds to go, but
Coming back, but 21 points down in the
21
fourth quarter.
coming back.
Guys, I want to make a little announcement here.
Yeah.
You know me like break news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, say Primal is not a normal something, right? And we have the record talking to some of the greatest of all time. While we have the chance, you don't want to wait until people not around again. So next week, our guest will be one of the greatest of all time, the greatest jockey of all time for Jamaica?
Fana?
George Hosang. Wait about Fana.
I think I always miss that.
You listen to man. No. Come on.
This one news.
Come on. It is indisputable.
Yeah, get
that
the facts
Jamaica's
right.
greatest jockey
Yeah.
is George Hosang.
George Hosang.
And George joins us on Primal next week, exclusive, because he's not talking to CNN, he's not talking to ESPN,
Yeah.
he's talking to us on Primal.
Yeah.
So you get a chance for things. So people, join us next week. because-
Resource.
Yeah, man, we're putting up some good numbers with the fan base lately, and we Primal talking to all the sports. You know, no sport is too out there,
Yeah,
except
every
probably
sport.
ice hockey and
bobsled.
And bobsled.
Can you imagine? Getting a bobsled on.
You can't imagine we get the bobsled people. I would not put this up here. That'd be funny.
Winter Olympics going on, right?
Yeah, Winter Olympics coming on, and it's going to be interesting. And I have some links, you know. I'm gonna try and get a bobsled person here.
No,
Yeah,
no,
get
no.
them,
I'm gonna
get
try
them.
them.
So we,
I have some links.
yeah, we'll have to get them on. Yeah, man. So back to it, Ken. So Aaron is going to win his second consecutive MVP.
Yeah.
He's looking to switch teams. I think Green Bay is fed up with him.
Or
I
he's
think
fed up with Green Bay.
well,
Both ways.
it's both ways. The crowd, you can, you know, if you watch 2014, 2015, him lose the same way every time. It's always a mistake, a mishap. Something wrong with him. Something is definitely wrong. So he's going to try to move on. I think he wants to play for Denver, the Broncos.
Okay.
Yeah. So
This is not his first rodeo. He's been in the league quite some time.
yeah.
And I mean, you remember the phone lines are still open? 1-876-552-7406.
Well, we don't even touch any of the African Cup.
Afghan, we're talking about football. And Peter talked last week that we don't pay much attention to Afghan.
Maybe it's true because it's not on TV. You know, it's not on. But it's on the channels that we don't really watch anyway.
Yeah,
But,
being sports.
yeah, but yeah. We see Cameroon made it to the semi-final, beating Gambia 2-0. Gambia was also a surprise team of the competition, reaching the quarters for the first time in the history. Tunisia is currently playing. I would say our favorite player from Liverpool, well, Peter's favorite footballer
Salah.
of the year, Mo Salah, will be playing tomorrow at 10 a.m. against Morocco. Yeah, that should be a good match as well. And we see Senegal playing against Guinea.
Equatorial Guinea.
Equatorial Guinea.
Egypt and Senegal for the wins. Egypt and Senegal. For the wins.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's wind down to probably a Mo Salah versus Sadio Mane final.
What? Yeah.
I mean, that would be exciting for Liverpool fans and even fans in general. The two biggest African players now.
Yeah.
Two of them. I mean, we have some others.
You know,
We admire, but those two definitely carry a lot of weight in Sadio Mane and Mo Salah. So, as teammates facing off in the final, that would be great for football and should get some highlight and should get some media coverage because we want to see the Afghan. We want the African football to flourish. We want it to be advertised because, you know, talent is there and we see them playing the trade all across Europe, not only Liverpool, all across leagues in Syria, Bundesliga, La Liga. We have African players all over.
Yeah.
But the most two famous ones right now, Sadio Mane and
Mo Salah.
It would be great if they face off in the finals.
I'll definitely. I haven't watched a match yet, you know. But if that's the finals, you
That's
know,
the final.
I'll definitely
We'll
watch
tune
it.
in, we'll tune in and-
I'll go and search out to try and find a channel or whatever it is to watch.
I'll probably go with Senegal. I'll go with Senegal doing this one.
Senegal.
You know, we like to make picks here, but I
See,
mean,
when against
we're all about.
So Cameroon, you don't give Cameroon a shot, being the host, and
Yeah, of
them have all the
course.
12 man.
Cameroon has a shot, but
Senegal.
as I said, quality and cream should rise
Yeah.
to the top, and
Yeah.
those two players are match winners. Not to say Cameroon doesn't have match winners, but Cameroon has a chance. But everybody left in it has a chance. But we have to.
But we want that dream finals anyway, for
Yeah.
for the sake of publicity and hyping up the African Cup a little bit more.
Getting that media coverage and that talk. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
we've been having some issues with the phone line here.
people telling me that they're trying to call in and phone lines are busy.
Working on it.
But we're working on it, and I mean, keep trying to call because we'd like to hear your views. I mean, we're for the people, and this phone call segment is one of the best segments. You hear what the people want to say.
Yeah.
It's working.
I'm glad that Onion spoke about Formula One, and that's a very good decision. I'm quite pleased with that. I think, well, we're waiting for the conclusion of the inquiry still.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I don't think nothing will come out of it. I think the
you think it
results
will
will
remain the same.
Results will stay the same, and
But
they'll just hype it up more for next year.
Yeah. They
Formula One.
They made a good move though. That's a good move. That's a first step.
Just like you said, the phone lines are back in service. Anybody want to call can call you now.
All right. So remember 876 552 7406.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we can touch a little on our table tennis. We see that local. Let's touch a little bit on the local side of things. We see where we'll be having a national trials next week at the arena on Friday.
Is that so?
Yes, that is so. So we'll see all the best players in the island face off for 4 spots to make the Caribbean team to Havana, Cuba, and from the 2nd of March to the 8th of March. Yes, so that would be interesting. Also, the females will be playing on Saturday. You know, we have a lineup of 6 females and 11 males, and it will be a round-robin format. Everybody play everybody. The survival of the fittest. First 4 past the post will qualify.
Is that so? There's no favoritism in it?
No, there will be no favoritism in this
really?
one.
In every sport you have favoritism.
No. When it comes on to the senior ranks, we're going with 1, 2, 3. You know, we're doing it just the same way as we do it in the Olympics.
No Merlin not to be enforced in the team?
No. We have no exemptions right here for next week. So no exemption. They want to start off on a good foot. So guys, look out for that. I don't know if it will be streaming live, but if we'll post it on our Primal
I guess the
Sports
results
page.
will be in before the Primal show next week, because next week we always have a jam-packed show.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a guest lineup for next week already. We'll talk about the Millrose Games. A lot of Jamaican athletes competing this year. The track and field season is kicking off. I mean, we'll talk all football is hot topic after the Reggae Boys play Panama. I mean, and when this international break window closes, we see a lot of teams qualifying more for World Cup. Iran is the next team in.
Yeah, Iran.
Iran is in.
Oh, since I remember 1994, they were there. 94, yes, 1994.
I think
yes,
this is their 3rd straight qualification, if I'm not mistaken.
Iran.
But when the window closes, we have more teams qualifying for World Cup.
Yeah.
As I said before, the schoolboy season is over. Just now, KC winning 2-0, so schoolboy football is out. Track and field around the corner. Champs coming up. Track and field season, international world championships this year, World Cup this year.
Yeah.
I mean,
So you think Paul Hall?
next week we have our NFL finalists.
Yeah. So you think Paul Hall will keep his job? Will keep
He's
his
interim. He's an interim coach. I think we'll get a coach.
JFF will try and find a different coach at the end of the campaign.
And I think coaching is not necessarily.
That's not our problem.
It is a problem, but not a major problem.
Not a major problem.
Not a major problem.
Yes, I do agree. What I think where the Reggae where they should start is just rebuilding. You know, first of all, we want to have better fields to play on.
Infrastructure.
Yeah, man.
Every week we come on the show.
Yeah.
No matter who the guest is, no matter which sport we talk about, infrastructure is a big part of sports, and we are lacking in it in Jamaica. In every sport.
Yeah.
I'm sure even in track and field. We see where schools getting tracks now. Kingston College has a track. JC has a track. Calabar. I mean, but even so, GC Foster there's a track. There's no track up by UTEC.
Yeah. Oh, still training on grass, eh?
MVP doesn't have a track.
Yeah.
I mean, UA has a track, but
you don't think the Chevron cause shin splint sometime? Too much running on the Chevron?
I mean, but you don't have to use it, but you have to have a track.
You have to have a track, yeah. I get you.
There's a lot of fields. There's a field by the entrance, is a field up by the auditorium.
Yeah.
I mean, UA has a host of fields, so there's only one track.
Yeah.
Football, we need better fields in football.
Yeah, but without a doubt, man, it's hard.
We need more indoor areas where you can play volleyball, table tennis, badminton. We need more infrastructure, more swimming pools. As Alia touched on, pool in Mobay.
Yeah.
And I mean, before we close the show, we we have to close off with how we started. 5-time Olympian Alia Atkinson came on earlier. And I mean, great interview. I hope the viewers listening learned a lot and see how sports can be toxin. And I mean, we go through periods in sport where if you don't have that breakthrough, that mental fortitude, and sometimes I wouldn't say it's by chance, but things can kick off at any point in your career. So Alia stuck with it, and her name speaks.
Yeah, that's how it always goes.
It's synonymous with Jamaican swimming. So thanks again to her for being on the show. And it was a great show this week. And next week we look forward to
Mr. Jose.
Mr. Hassan.
Sorry. Oh my.
Hassan.
I'm so sorry. George Hassan.
And we learn more about racehorse. And I mean, we are Primal here. We verse across all sports. So
So until then, we'll see you next week. Stay tuned for Uncle Randy. He's up next live.
And one love from Primal Sports. Big up.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.